There'll be a group of, say, educators. They'll come up to Congress and they want to meet with their members of Congress and their senators. And, it's not very polite to say, well, we appreciate you traveled all this way, but I don't want to see you. You can't do that.
Congressman Steve Russell paid a visit to 3 schools in the Oklahoma City School District on Thursday. Russell, a retired Army commander who served in Afghanistan, is running for re-election in 2018. He discussed his job duties, his military service, and politics, and took questions from students at Roosevelt Middle School, U.S. Grant High School, and Douglas Mid-High.
For Oklahoma, that's really important because we have 5 military bases. How many of you have a relative that's in the military? Okay, so quite a few.
Today was a great day for our kids. They had the opportunity to speak with Congressman Russell, and this is an opportunity a lot of these kids are not normally afforded. So I thought it was very important for him to be able to come by, take that time out of his schedule to speak to our kids about some of the issues that they had questions about, and he was very transparent. He was very honest with our kids. He didn't try to hold anything back, and our kids, I believe, learned a lot. Some of the maybe misconceptions they had about what a congressman actually does, he was able to clear that up, so I believe it was very beneficial.
I had gone to the White House many times in coordination with things that I was working on, bills that I was working on. And I actually had 3 bills that were signed into law by President Obama. Now I've got a couple that hopefully by the end of the year, President Trump will sign. I've met President Trump as well. So it's just kind of the nature of the job where you do interact with the White House.
Okay, so what's your opinion on Trump?
Well, that's a fair question. I think we're all kind of, wondering. I guess my initial impression, I think he's trying to do the right things when it comes to our economy, when he's trying to take care of our infrastructure, and he's looking at those things from a business perspective. He's bringing some fresh ideas in that really haven't been thought of before. When it comes to the tweets or the things that he might say or all of that, I can't account for his style. I mean, I don't do that, so it's foreign to me. But he seems to want to try to send out his message on Twitter and do different things, and that's. We have a Twitter account, but I don't use it the same way that President Trump uses it. We have a different style. In terms of the crazy things that people on both sides of the aisle might say, I can't account for any of that. But I can control my own actions, and that's what I try to do.
Safe way to answer.
Well, it's not just being a safe way to answer, but he is the President of the United States. He was elected lawfully. I think a lot of people were tired of seeing kind of America set aside, and they went to the polls. And the way our electoral system is, it shouldn't just be the very populated coastal states with the big cities that decide the President of the United States. And our electoral system made sure that didn't happen. A lot of people upset about that. But nevertheless, he was duly elected. President Obama and I didn't agree on everything. There were some things that we did. In fact, when it came to law enforcement and certain things, he was worried about the militarization of law enforcement. And I agreed with that, being a soldier. You don't want our police looking like some communist country's police force, where they look like the military. That's what we have the military for. And so I wrote President Obama a note, and I just said, Mr. President, on this issue and on some social justice reforms, I said I agree with you, and I fully support what you said, and I wanted to thank you for that. Now, I didn't expect a reply. He's president, he's busy, but President Obama wrote me back, and which, now it's something that I treasure because, the president and I had a personal communication. I've done similar things with President Trump and been able to communicate with him, and I've got responses back, from his cabinet and others, and it's just part of the system. We're never all going to agree on everything, but rather than divide ourselves on the things that we don't agree on, let's find the things that we do, and let's go from there and try to make that work. There's so much of that in the middle that we can work on that we don't have to polarize and divide ourselves over. Why don't we work on that rather than get this emotion up on the issues that will only divide us.